CNNfn, the financial network.
Well, if computer hacking was a sport, my next guest would be a championship material. But it's a crime, and unfortunately, or rather fortunately for us, he is one of the good guys. Stuart McClure talks about how he's helping defend computer systems from cyber burglars when Business Unusual returns. In the information age, the most valuable tool any organization has is information. And fortunately for those organizations, Stuart McClure is on their side in helping them protect it. The author of a best-selling book, Hacking Exposed, he joins me now to talk about a class he and some other renowned white hat hackers are offering to help businesses help themselves. And welcome to Business Unusual.
Thank you.
Let's define hackers for those less computer literates like myself.
Sure. Hackers have been known now to be somewhat malicious. However, the traditional term of hackers are really good people, you know, white hat hackers.
White hat.
Yeah, that want to actually try and break into systems, but only to show how to close those holes. Mm-hmm. So it's somewhat of a dichotomy now that we call hackers malicious almost by default.
So there's no training for this kind of thing, really, until maybe now and what you're doing. But how did you get trained?
Just trial and error and learning on my own. It's really up to this point. So you spent
hours trying to break into agencies and all?
Right. I've been hired ever since I was in college, basically, to try and break into certain systems, obviously with the approval of the system owners.
You've never done this illegally?
Of course not, no.
Okay.
No, universities are wide open to these types of attacks, hacker attacks, mm-hmm. because by their very nature they're open, mm-hmm. right? They want people to learn. So for us, it was very easy to get into these systems, and then what we would do is tell the owners of the systems how to actually fix the holes that we got into.
Who's the most vulnerable? Which agencies or governments or institutions are the most vulnerable?
Certainly the university systems are some of the most vulnerable out there. They, like I said, they're open to everybody. They want to be open because they're a research institute, basically, so they want free accessibility to computers, and part of that means security is going to lack.
But what's the liability besides maybe getting in there and changing your grade on an exam or something? Well, I mean, they don't have top secret information by and large.
True. They can read email from people, so that might be sensitive, but bigger than that, they can actually use those systems to attack other systems, to actually lose the scent of their trail, so to speak. So if I was a hacker and I wanted to target someone like CNN or another company, I would never attack straight from my own computer. I would attack from a university system. So when somebody were to actually look at the logs on your computer at CNN, they would actually go back to the university, and the university then would have to look in their logs, et cetera, et cetera. So the more systems that I would compromise before actually attacking CNN, the less likely they are of catching us.
All right, well, you're right. The ones we hear about, the hackers, are the black hat hackers, I guess, who have gotten into military agencies and government agencies and the big online agencies and really kind of screwed things up for days at a time.
And some of the ones that you hear about are really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, for every one that you hear about in the news, there's at least 10 or 12 that just go unnoticed, or you'll find them in mailing lists, mm-hmm. but you'll never see it in the popular press.
So, well, tell me about your book and what you aim to do with it then.
Yeah, our real goal, ever since the beginning of what we wanted to put together for this, is show IT administrators, people that support the computers at companies, show them how hackers actually get in, malicious hackers primarily, and the tools that they use and the techniques that they use, so that they can actually perform these attacks on their own system. And the value there is you can really hacking is somewhat of a mentality. It's not a science, as we call it. You need to think like a hacker to know how to secure the system. And there's really no product or solution that's better than training. So that's what we wanted to do with the book and what we want to do with the class.
Is there any way to make a system airtight from hackers?
No, unfortunately, it's not that easy. There's no silver bullet. There's no product. Training is about as close as you get to it. So that's why we believe, I mean, in terms of Hacking Exposed, in terms of the class, we believe it's really the only close solution up to this point.
And these are the classes that you offer to institutions and corporations and this sort of thing. What do they learn in that? What are some of the course features?
Sure. The first day is footprinting analysis. So what we'll do is, a common technique is to take a target and understand everything about them. Understand every subsidiary, every partner, every alliance of some sort, because they might be sources of target. Okay. So footprinting is first day, and you understand then how people or how hackers port scan and ping scan, basically how they enumerate a target. Okay. And then on the second day we teach Unix. It's a particular type of operating system that's very popular around the world. So we teach how to break into Unix. And then on the third day it's NT. So Windows NT, we show people how easy it is to get into those systems. And on the fourth day, we teach web hacking, how to actually get onto a web server just using a browser. So most people never think of an internet browser as really an attack tool, but it can be.
Yeah,
and we show that.
And we have had attacks from Norway and from other countries into our systems here too.
Sure.
So I mean, it's a universal.
And I'm sure you in your logs by itself have plenty of stories to tell. The other part of the class is really important, is we show how to fix those problems. So every hack that we show a countermeasure, which is critical for IT, because they need to know how to get in, but also they need to know how do I fix that hole? How do I plug that up so that people can't get in that way?
Well, tell me about your business now and how big it is and where you're going with it. I'm sure you just can't keep up with the solicitations for help.
The security services industry is just exploding at this point because the talent pool, quite frankly, is so small right now for security expertise that a lot of folks are looking, for outside help. That's one of the things that we want to do with the book, with the class, is actually increase the labor pool for this type of work. Obviously, we don't want to make folks dependent on us. I mean, while it's a great model for us, there's plenty of work to go around. So from our perspective, our main drive is to get folks like CNN or other companies to actually learn for themselves. Learn the techniques and fixes and then implement those.
How much is the class and how many courses does it involve?
We have, well, this particular class is just about every couple of months in all different cities. It's $3,500 in general, so it's a bit on the high side for classes, but it's all lab and hands-on, which make it the easiest environment for people to learn.
Who are your clients now, and who are the more interesting ones especially?
Well, certainly the Fortune 1000 are, big clients of any consulting group, security group.
Do you get a sense that they are even aware of how vulnerable they may be, or no?
They generally are not, and that's what's really interesting about some of our engagements is they often bring us in simply because they want to prove to upper management how wide open they are. Yeah. Because that is truly one of the biggest motivators.
A lot of upper management probably can't even work their computer. So.
Exactly.
And one last question, we're running out of time, but this information that you're giving out, I suppose, could help the black hat hackers as well as the white hat.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
We try constantly to avoid any situation like that. Obviously, we do some screening of people. We make sure that they're with a legitimate company almost. But
the book's out there for everybody.
The book's out there for everybody, but it provides countermeasures for everybody as well. So if they are vulnerable, they should also fix the holes.
All right. Stuart McClure in Brave New World here. Thanks for joining us, author of Hacking Exposed. Thank you.